Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View on St. Patrick's Day. Yes, it's St. Paddy's Day, and there'll be a lot of parties going on. And then I've seen a nonsense comment this morning that St. Paddy's Day shouldn't be celebrated in Scotland because it's bigoted and it's nonsense. Well, to that person, I'm going to do a video later on this afternoon where there'll be 20,000 people. I'll be donning the streets here in Spain, all for St. Patrick's Day. It is a massive Irish area where I stay in Spain. There will be 20,000 people donning the streets for the parade, and it costs €15,000 to just have this parade. So make sure you check out and share that video that is going to be on the channel later today. Let's get into the Celtic news from yesterday. It was a fantastic game yesterday. A lot of talking points as per normal, but let's see what the manager had to say.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good performance. We created a lot of chances and scored very good goals. And
Yep.
obviously we were right on the limit today because there were a lot of stoppages in the game. But
Yeah,
I think for that I give credit to our players because we were there so many times looking to create goals and score goals, and sometimes the VAR has to take a wee look at that. So
I'll stop you there, Brendan. It has to be, Scotland has to be the only league. I mean, the Celtic have to be the only team where every single decision is checked by VAR. Every single one. It's getting beyond ridiculous. I mean, every single decision, and it's the length of time that it takes VAR in Scotland. It's the length of time that it takes VAR in Scotland to do absolutely anything, which is ruining the game. Why don't VAR officials do the same as what rugby officials do? If they want to have this secret Masonic get together for their VAR, why don't they have it an open mics policy? Why don't they have it an open mics policy? Because after all, Sky Television, when they're doing the commentary, they have the ability to listen to what VAR is saying. As a fan of Scottish football, as a paying customer, as people are, we have the right. People have the right to know what's getting said, and I think it's about time that it was brought out. There was a real change to make sure that it was public knowledge what they're talking about with VAR. Tell me what you think about that in the comments.
but no, overall really good. We only had one little spell when I made the changes.
Yeah,
Where
that
we
was a
went a little
wrong
bit
change.
passive and
That was the wrong change. I mean, why oh why did they put Tomoki Iwata back into the back line when they had a defender in Gustav Lagerbielke? And then we go down and then he brings Gustav on. At least he admitted his mistakes. His mistake in the game. For me, it was the wrong one. I mean, if you've got a defender that's on the bench, put the defender on, Brendan. There has to be something going on in the background with the whole Gustav Lagerbielke thing and him and Brendan. I mean, obviously, Brendan did say in December, I'm going to have to sit down with some of these players and tell them they're not good enough for Celtic. And Gustav went to get a new club, and then Brendan went, "Whoa, wait a minute, we've got too many injuries."
and they started to get a bit of comfort in the game for 5-10 minutes. But overall, over the course of the 90 plus minutes, I thought we were very good.
And how pleased were you with the tempo that was set, because it appeared to carry out almost throughout the 103 or so minutes that we played?
Yeah, well, I've said before the game, it is very important, the speed of the game for us in order to tire out the opponent and bring the level to a level that makes it really difficult. So yeah, I thought that the players worked very hard in that aspect. They made some really good moments, some really good combinations, some bright bits of play, and like I say, that led to our goals and very good goals.
One of the good things about yesterday is there was a couple of guys. If you'd watched the live from yesterday, if you'd watched the two lives before the game and after the game, it wasn't a live after the game, it was a recorded video. But go and check out the live. There's a guy comes on to the live and he says that James Forrest shouldn't be at the club. James Forrest is as good a player as he has been in the past. And I said, well, what's wrong with James Forrest? He's a fantastic player to have in and around the club. For me, James Forrest should be playing the first 60 minutes of a game. If he doesn't have the legs for 90 minutes, get him on the first 60 minutes. He can make things happen. Hold my pint, says Jamesy Forrest. Here's another goal for you, mate. After the game, I gets the guy back on the video to get him to own up to his mistake. So go and watch those videos after this.
And you've been looking for quality. I mean, it's always going to win his matches. Are you pleased to see Nicholas Kone producing again this weekend?
Yeah, I think he's settling in really well, finding his strength, finding his confidence, and just day by day in training, you can see that. So yeah, no, very very aggressive 1v1, makes a great assist for the first goal. This is really creative good speed, and obviously gets a goal himself. So, and that's the efficiency that you want from your wide players.
It's interesting because people said when Nicholas Kone first came into Celtic that he wasn't good enough. Now, it's since transpired, since came out that he had some kind of health issue which made him lose a weight in stone when he first got here. And obviously he's had to build that back up, and he's had to build his fitness back up, and everything seems to be just clicking into place for the player. And I did say, look, we've just got him in the December. There's no point. The first half of the season, you're never going to see the best of a player. It takes them that. I mean, even Ange Postecoglou said that when he signed players. When he signed a little Canadian, he said you won't see the best of Alistair Johnson until next season. And I think it's going to be the same with Nico Kuhn. I think he's going to be a player that is going to go and do fantastic things. You've got to remember as well, there was one player at Celtic that played a long time. He was Brownie's number two. And he was absolutely woeful at the back. And people slated him because he was always injured. But he went on to be best mates with our captain, our leader. They were best friends. And he was a complete legend of the club. So never, ever, we can be a bit quick as fans to sometimes get on the back of players. We're expecting players to come in and do amazing things. And when you're bringing in sort of project players like that, it's never going to happen. But he could be one player that could go on to have some fantastic years in front of him, and we do have him on that 5-year contract.
You now get the chance to rest for a couple of weeks. I know players will go on international duty, but would you hope to have a stronger squad again on return?
Well, before Brendan talks, international duty has not been the best friend to Celtic over the past years. And even going back as far as John Kennedy, when John Kennedy went away to play with Scotland and then had a career-ending tackle. So let's just hope that we can get, most recently you had Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate went away with Japan and came back and hasn't kicked the ball since. We haven't seen Rio since before December. Anyway, let's see what Brendan has to say on this.
Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully that'll be the case. There'll be a little bit of rest, but there's still work to be done. We'll have a game behind closed doors to get one or two of our players up to speed.
Good, I'm glad.
But really good news seeing the likes of Cam in today and working well. So, but yeah, all been well, all the guys come back fit, and we can really attack this last part of the season.
Yes, attack the last part of the season. This is where the money shots are made, as they say. Now, a lot of people have been saying, let's face it, a lot of people have been giving James Forrest, why did we give James Forrest a new contract? And I have said, I've backed James Forrest. I think he's a fantastic player. He's been a fantastic servant. But when it comes to knowing how to win games, when it comes to having that knowledge and what it takes to get over the line, to win championships, to win derby games, to win cup finals, James Forrest is a fantastic player to have in and around the squad to help assist these guys. We shouldn't be chasing players like James Forrest that have devoted their whole life to Celtic, not just their playing career. You have to remember James Forrest comes in at Celtic at a very young age. And he's went through the whole system at Celtic. Celtic is his life. I think sometimes as fans we can sometimes push players out the door before it is their time to hang up their boots. And James Forrest had his say in the game.
No, I think we've played St Johnstone here at the start of the season and we drew 0-0, but I think today we created chances and we scored a few offside goals. We managed to get free and we had
could have been
a good few other chances. We could have scored more as well. So no, I think it's positive. Maybe just on the negative that we conceded the goal, but I think there's a lot of good positives to take from that. And once we come back from the international break, then we can go again.
Right, about the goal that was conceded, I'm going to have, obviously, I say about Joe Hart. He makes a fantastic save, but he palms it back into the 6-yard box. What's wrong with him hitting it over the bar? It's only been pernickety, yes, and it is. You want as many clean sheets, but that is a bit of a downside to Joe Hart. Joe Hart's then shouting, well, a Celtic player should have got that. Joe, you should have tipped it over the bar. Sorry, mate, but it's all nice saying that you made a fantastic save, but you did. But you're palming it back out into a dangerous area when you're stuck on your arse on the ground because you've made a dive and save for the ball. So Joe Hart does have to take a bit of responsibility. The defenders have to take a bit also. They should be reacting. But for me, if I'm a defender, you're expecting Joe Hart to tip that over the bar quite easily, not to put it back right into the danger zone. When it comes to the one that Kyogo hits off the bar, you're thinking, my God. And then there was a few other ones. There was another one that Tomoki Awata missed, and you're thinking, how on earth did he manage to miss that? It could have been a lot more. There was quite a few offsides given against Kyogo. I thought he was going to get ready to spit his dummy at one point, but he kept on going and he got his just rewards.
And Nicholas, you look like a player playing with a lot of confidence. Did you enjoy your session today?
Nicholas, who's doubting a lot of his doubters.
Yes, I think it's getting better and better. I feel better and could score some more goals, but at the end I'm happy.
And it's another assist, very similar to last week. St Johnstone played things very, very deep. How important was it, that opening goal that you managed to find Kyogo?
I think we had a couple of chances before to score, but of course it's important to get the first goal. And now we're happy with the 3 points.
And James, over the piece, it's always going to be about winning on days like today, but the performance required, Nicholas, yourself chipping in with goals, it looks like it's a team that's starting to find a little bit of a groove, although we're now going into a break.
Yeah, but I think that's good as well. We've managed to use the squad the last few games, and then I think that's important for other boys to come back like after international breaks. So I think it's healthy, the competition in the squad, and I think that can only make us better for going forward.
Well, the competition for man of the match today was fierce, but Nicholas, I'm delighted to say you've been voted.
He's man of the match, and he was man of the match, quite rightly so. And there is a few things that you could pick out about his game, maybe not getting past a few players a bit more ease, but he's certainly not a Jota. I mean, Jota used to be able to do that with these. Is he the type of player that's going to make Celtic better in the long run? I think if he keeps on improving as a player, Nicholas Kone, like I say, he could be one to watch next season. I think we're going to get a fantastic season out of him next season. When we look at the game in general, was it a good game? There was a lot of stoppages with VAR. Where do you go with VAR? You don't. You just get on with it. There's no use talking about VAR anymore. They're going to do what they can to stop the game and slow the game down. And that's what it is in Scottish football. It is just a case of slowing the game down. Never have you... I mean, I don't watch a lot of football, but any football I do, you never see stoppages for VAR taking more than 10 to 15 seconds. In Scotland, it seems to take around about 30 to 40 seconds. It is unbelievable. Anyway, Nicholas Kone did take to Instagram, as they usually do, after the game, and he just put, really enjoyed today. 3+ goals for Celtic and a little clover. And on that note, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you check out the video this afternoon that I'll put up where I'm down watching a St. Patrick's Day parade, one of the biggest in Europe. Not in the world, that goes to obviously the United States and New York, but this one is the biggest in Europe and there'll be over 20,000 people there. So make sure that you do watch that video today. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.